Hi, I'm Amanda and welcome to the Hot Plate. Today we're going to be getting steamy in the kitchen, making budget-friendly meal ideas, and taking a new spin on chicken dinner. Whether you're going home for the weekend or you want a special treat for your roommates, this is a great meal that's going to feed 6 people for just about $4 a serving. Started with potatoes because they should start in water that's cold, and you should bring everything to a boil together and then let it boil until they're tender. And that means when you pierce them with a knife, the potato's going to slide right off and then they're going to be perfect for mashing. If you don't have a peeler, don't worry, scrub the potatoes and then just make sure that once they're clean, you cut them into about 6 even pieces for a potato this size, and then they'll boil about the same time. Now to add some color to this dish, we're going to be making a baked pepperonata. I like to jazz it up with a little bit of coriander, and it's going to be going in the oven with our chicken resting on top, so minimal dishes. We're going to get started with our peppers. What we're going to be doing is cutting them off, taking out the core, and then cutting them into thin strips. The next thing that we have to add is our onion. It's a key ingredient in almost all my dishes, but it's vital. What I like to do is just peel it, cut it into thin strips, about the same as the pepper, so that everything cooks at exactly the same time. So what I've got are my onions, my peppers, they're all mixed together. Now for the liquid content in this, we're going to be adding tomatoes, canned tomatoes, and we're also going to be adding a little bit of balsamic for some acidity, some extra virgin olive oil because it's a must in all dishes, a tablespoon of sugar to sweeten it all up, and a little bit of lemon zest, and some help from thyme, rosemary, and coriander. So we've got our chicken thighs. I did a mixture of leg and thigh. Never know what people are going to prefer, but it's a lot cheaper than chicken breast and you're able to get a much better quantity out of it. Make sure that when you're searing meat, which is what we're going to be doing in a second, you have a good amount of olive oil in the pan and a nice pinch of salt and pepper on both sides of the chicken. Perfect. So now I'm going to head over to the stove, get this chicken seared, and then we're going to pop it on top of our pepperonata and get it in the oven. To sear your chicken, what you want to make sure is that the pan's gotten nice and hot. I like to start with the top side down, and you want to make sure that you don't try and flip it till it's nice and golden brown, and that's going to make sure that the chicken releases from the pan and that you don't tear the skin. All in all, it's probably going to take about 5 to 8 minutes per side to make sure you've got a good sear on both, and don't overcrowd the pan. If you need to do a couple batches, that's totally cool. Just make sure that when the chicken's seared, you move it onto a clean plate. So our chicken's all done, the skin's nice and crispy, and all we have to do now is just pop it into the oven at 400 degrees for about 25 minutes until it's nice and juicy. The potatoes are now all drained. I put them back in the pot. This works really well because any extra water that's clinging to them is going to evaporate from the heat, as you can plainly see. Now, I'm doing my roasted garlic mashed potatoes. Really simple, don't worry, I did this step in advance. All you need to do is take one garlic head, cut the tops off, drizzle with a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and pop it into a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes. Your house will smell delicious and rich, and if you don't have time that day, just go ahead and do it in advance. Now, I like a bit of a rich mashed potato, so I'm going to be adding 3 tablespoons of butter. And then just to make sure that they're nice and creamy, I had some 2% milk lying around. So I'm going to add about a cup of milk for the 5 potatoes that I used. So now all we have to do is season up our mashed potato with a little bit of kosher salt and pepper. And then we're going to pop the lid back on and just wait till our pepperonata is coming out of the oven. To add a little green to our plate, we're going to be using asparagus. Now asparagus is a very versatile vegetable, but to make it extra simple, we're just going to be boiling them in salted water today. It's been about 25 to 30 minutes and our chicken is nice and tender and our pepperonata is bubbling and sweet. So I'm going to go grab it from the oven and we're going to get ready to plate. We're all ready to get plating. Now for me, it's just as important that the food looks delicious as it tastes delicious. So we're going to start with a nice big helping of our roasted garlic mashed potato. Pop on one of our chicken legs. A couple spears of our asparagus for a little green. And then of course we can't forget that yummy pepperonata that's been cooking underneath our chicken. Perfect. It's nice, it's roasty, it's great for whether you're cooking for your family back home or your urban family in Montreal. Thanks very much for watching The Hot Plate, and make sure to check out all of our episodes at tvmcgill.com.